We'll call the regular city council meeting of the city of Clear Lake Hall. Thank you, Chief. Please.
Councilmember Claffey,
Here.
Councilmember Kramer,
Here.
Vice Mayor Purdock,
Here.
Mayor Slutin,
Present.
and Councilmember Overton is absent.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to have a moment of silence to remember the 565,000 people that perished with the pandemic, of which 43 of them are in Lake County. So a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you. All right, first item is the adoption on the agenda. City Manager, Mr. Flora, do we have any changes, modifications?
No changes.
All right, we'll start on the presentations.
Make a motion to accept the agenda as submitted, sir.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Vice Mayor Purdock and seconded by Councilman Kramer. Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll go to presentations. First one is presentation of April adoptable dogs. Looks like we have a dog coming in. No, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Dragging us from Reds.
Hello.
Oh,
Approximately 4 or 5 years old, female. She was spayed. She gave out all the vaccines. Requires a lot of exercise. She was claiming that she really enjoyed the right over here. She selected smaller dogs she's not a fan of. We've had a couple of the male, older dogs, the bigger dogs, and she's available for adoption. For more information, contact the animal shelter. The phone number there is 707-273-9440. We're currently open by appointment only, so please call and schedule ahead of time.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
oh, thanks, Officer Moritz. See you later, Jabby.
Taking him move for a walk.
Good evening, members of the council. I'll give a quick update on the animal care and control statistics for this year. So far this year, we've taken 105 dogs into the shelter. We've had 110 leave the shelter. Some that came in last year have left. 61 have gone to rescue. 34 have been returned to their owners. 11 were adopted. 3 euthanized. The live release rate as of today is 97.3%. So we went up a little bit points from last month. So we're still doing really good in that area. We'll pick up there. We probably won't stay up that high all year long, but hopefully we'll be close to that. Also, one thing of note I want to mention is Animal Care and Control Employee Appreciation Week. And we just want to let that be known that we have, employees that do a lot of hard work at our animal care and control. They're, doing a lot of work for the amount they do. We don't have a ton of employees, but they do really good work. And the police department is definitely very appreciative of the work they do, the care they put into making sure these animals get the best care they can while they're with them, and doing a lot of work to make sure they get out to good homes, whether they've been fostered or go to rescue, different places, but they're definitely putting a lot of hard work in and making things better for animals in our community in this round.
Your live, your live release rate of 79, 97% is awesome. I mean, that's a credit to your staff. Definitely. Thank you.
They do a lot of hard work to put those animals
Yep.
out of there successfully versus having to stay in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Hobbs.
Okay, we go to item number 2 of the presentations of the local safety road plan. Alan, city manager, who is that gonna?
Yeah, I think we have Lauren on Zoom and she's going to give an overview.
Yes, I am here. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. I am, let's see, trying to share my screen here. It says host disabled participant screen sharing. So is that possible? I have a short presentation and demonstration of the public outreach component for the local road safety plan.
You should be okay now.
All right, thank you. All right, let me see if I can. Okay. Can everyone see this okay?
Yes.
All right, great. Well, thank you for having me here tonight. I certainly do appreciate it. I'm here to speak briefly about the local road safety plan. And this is a study that we are conducting in close coordination with the Lake Area Planning Council. And it's really a study that is geared towards making local roadways and local intersections safer. We're going to be looking at historical crash patterns, and a key component of this study is public outreach. And our goal is to come up with solutions, and certainly a goal is to secure grant funding so we can implement these solutions. So the public outreach component is very valuable. It's very critical. It will certainly help to shape the plan. We've created a method whereby providing feedback is going to be very easy. It will take only a couple of minutes, so we hope that we will have many people participate. So just going through what the local road safety plan is. It's a framework, it's a study, like I said, data driven, and our goal here is to secure funding so that we can put in improvements. Now, in the coming days, we are going to be providing links on the website for the City of Clearlake and also the Lake Area Planning Council that will just take you to a brief survey. And after this survey, it will take you to an interactive public map whereby you will be able to put your comments in. So I'm just going to play a video that does a brief demonstration of how it works.
Hi, my name is Cole Piper, and I'm a senior planner with Headway Transportation. We're going to be talking through the Clearlake Local Road Safety Plan Survey and Interactive Map. Local road safety plans, or LRSPs, provide an opportunity for local
We can hear the video, but we can't see anything.
Oh, you can't see anything. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Let's see. New share. Oh, my apologies. I have to do a new share. All right. How is that?
That's better.
Okay, can you see it? It should be a video with showing a roadway and a survey on it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Local roads and support existing efforts. LRSPs are driven by data analysis and public input to develop safety countermeasures and strategies which address the 4 E's of traffic safety: engineering, education, enforcement, and emergency medical services. Developing a holistic LRSP driven by data analysis and your input is critical for securing grant funding for future safety improvements. Taking just 5 minutes today can help improve safety in your community for years to come. So we'll just walk through the survey itself and then the interactive map and talk through how to add comments to the map and then how to vote on comments from others. So just quickly, we'll walk through the survey. It's very quick. It's got 5 questions to it, with the ones being required having a red asterisk to it. First, just looking at the primary mode of transportation that you take, what age range you fall into, and then looking at what impact COVID-19 restrictions has had on your traveling behavior, just to kind of take the temperature of what this long-term impact may or may not be. So you could say yes or no, we travel the same. Looking at transportation safety and breaking it into some specific focus areas, we did some initial data analysis of crash data for the past 5 years and identified 8 different areas of focus. We want you to go through and rank which of these are most concerning or the highest priority for you, with 1 being the most highest priority and then 8 being least concerned about. Once you have those completed, you're able to just scroll down to the next question and then add any additional comments that you have on this box here. Once you've done so, you're prompted to just remind you that you're going to be sent to an interactive map on the following screen. Once you've submitted your survey and then provided an opportunity to send your email in as well. Once you've submitted your data, I give you the message that it was sent successfully and then provided a link to the map. You're also reminded to bookmark the link to the map if you want to come back and revisit it at a later date. Clicking through to the map, see just the opening splash screen. You're able to just click sign in as a guest, no problem. You're presented with instructions of how to use the map, which provide you instructions of not only adding the public comment, but also how to go through and vote on comments from others. In case you need to go back and reference this, hit the question mark, and those you can always get those to pop back up. Looking at the map here, you see we've got a number of comments already entered, various colors, dots. If we click on the legend over here, we're able to see what those dots are denoting. We can click on these and we'll zoom into them automatically. It'll tell us what the focus area is, what the comment is, and then how many votes it's received already. It's something that we support. We can click on this and we can add our votes to it. You can see this has changed from 2 to 3. We can go through and do this with any of the existing comments that have been entered by others. We want to go through and add our own comment. That's simply done by clicking the Add Comment button. And it takes a second to think here. And then you're able to draw on the map any location. So you pick a point and then identify which focus area that falls into. If it is an other, you're encouraged to write out exactly what that is. If it's something that doesn't fall within these specific items. Once you've identified the comment area, we ask that you provide a comment. So we'll just say test here. That's what we're doing. You're able to provide a specific address if you want to do so, but because we've already identified a location on the map, we don't need to enter anything here. You can hit report it, and it will take this data and add it immediately to the map. Provided the information that you can go on and continue to add as many additional comments as you would like. Once you are done, you're able to exit out of the map, and all of your comments will already be taken. And with that is how to use the interactive map and survey.
Okay, so that was just a quick demonstration of how the public outreach is going to work. We're very excited about it. Again, this will be posted in the coming days on several websites for the City of Clearlake and also the Lake Area Planning Council. We also plan to share it on various social media sites. So if you come across it, please take the survey. Please take a few minutes to fill it out. Please also share it with your friends and your neighbors so we can get a lot of comments back. We also plan to have hard copies of the surveys printed and available at City Hall. So if anyone wishes to come in and fill it out by hand, that option will be available as well. And that is a quick introduction. So if anyone has any questions about it, I'll be happy to answer them.
Anybody has any questions about it?
No.
I don't see anybody right now. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'll certainly will check it out.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, we go on to the three of the presentations of PEG TV annual report. It looked like we have Mr. Roby here to address us.
Can I give the report at the podium?
Sure.
Absolutely.
It's almost like old times.
I know.
Almost.
Speaking of old times, I gotta say, that picture up there is causing me flashback to when I was a teenager. I went out on the lake in a rowboat on a day like that, and I was out there in the middle of it when all that color started happening. And there was ripples on the lake, and I was looking around. There was red, and there was orange, and there was yellow, and blue, and green. It was like I was in the middle of this color wheel that was vibrating and flashing. It was one of the wildest things I ever saw. Anyway, it's distracting.
I thought you were flying over there.
Is that about 1895?
Yeah, something like that.
I say 1960.
Yeah. That's more correct. Okay,
Actually, Ed's only about 3 years older than I think than I am.
I'll be 75 in August.
I'll be 73 in October.
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity to give the annual Tech TV report. Our chair, Denise Lusterlo, former mayor, was hoping to be here tonight, and she got tied up. I don't know if she's going to try, but I couldn't be covered for it. We do have our station manager, Thomas DeWalt, here to back me up. Okay, as required by the agreement between the city of Clearlake, the city of Lakeport, and the county of Lake for the operation of a local public educational government television channel that was adopted November 17th, 2015. The following report of the status of the PEG TV channel is hereby submitted, and I'll read this with you. LCPTV has a very solid board of directors. Proud of our board, good people. We've had a real good board for the last 5 or 10 years. Russ was on there. We've got our chair, Denise Lusterlo. We've got Councilmember Clappy. We've got a Councilmember Michael Friel from the city of Lakeport. We've got this county superintendent of schools, Rob Falkenberg. We've covered the education part of it. And former councilman and now chairman of the board of supervisors, Bruno Sabatier, as the county manager. In February, PEG board submitted our budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Our budget is actually 2 budgets. We have an operating budget and a capital budget. The operating budget projects revenues of $32,500, expenses of $33,200, and a fund balance carryover of $38,177. The capital budget projects revenues of $65,750 and expenses of $41,543. Have a fund balance carryover of $202,000. This capital budget receives funding. Well, I should explain. The funding stream is 2 different sources. The operating budget is the small budget, and each of the 3 entities that created PEG, 2 cities and the county, contribute on kind of a prorated basis based on the number of budgets. So the county gives us $15,000 a year. The check came in last week, it was positive. I always check on it. City of Lakeport provides $2,000. And the city of Clearlake provides $8,000, but the $8,000 that you give us is not in cash, it's in kind. You let us use the owner vending machine as our broadcast studio, and you let us use a room out at the community / senior center. I don't know what's the official name of that building these days.
Community center.
Community center? Community center.
I think you're right.
Anyway, out there. We're using that we're gonna be using it for training as a studio for producing shows, talk shows and things like that. One of the things we've been trying to do for years and years and years is produce local shows, local content. And we're starting to do it. I'm excited about that more than all the equipment and money we spent on the physical stuff. Because it's really, in the long haul, that's what a pay station is supposed to be doing. That's the public and education part. Broadcasting council meetings, board of supervisor meetings, planning commission meetings, candidates forums, things like that. That's the government part. So anyway, we had a lot of plans, but of course, just like everybody else, the COVID-19 virus slowed us down a little bit. But I want to tell you some of the things we've accomplished in the last year. We funded new cameras and other broadcast equipment for the city of Lakeport. Now, you need to understand, this completed a 3-year project that we had going on, where we funded cameras and new broadcast equipment at the board of supervisors chambers. Then we did the same thing here, which is the cameras that we're broadcasting right now. And then we finally did the city of Lakeport. Anyway, all this equipment is installed and operational. Now, we also purchased a professional PA system, which can be used for outdoor events. It's a big one, and it's big enough to do outdoor events. And we're hoping to do the first one at the park, maybe 4th of July. Now, the thing is, I didn't realize that technology's changed a lot over the last 50 years. Like I said, I'm going to be 75. Why did I mention that? I really had a method to my madness, because 50 years ago, I ran off to the Santa Cruz Mountains and ran a PA system for a rock and roll band that some of my college friends had put together. So I thought I knew about PA systems. I knew how to plug them in and run the mixer and all that stuff. Let me tell you, 50 years, the technology's changed. And this thing is very sophisticated. And I got to learn how to use it. We all have to learn how to use it. And in fact, we had a sound engineer come up from the city last weekend, and out at the community center, we plugged it all in and hooked it up and tried it out for the first time. And the sound engineer helped us do it. Because you ought to see this thing. Well,
We hope to. We hope to.
I know. Anyway, one of the things we need to talk about, though, and not tonight during this report, but probably Alan and maybe some of you, we need to sit down and talk about how this is all going to work. Because at this stage of the game, this is a lot of equipment, and some of the speakers are big enough I could crawl inside them and go to sleep. So it's going to require a road crew. It's going to require some way to transport this stuff. And it's going to require, unless we get really good like Daytona 500, it's going to require about 4 hours to set up and about 2 hours to take apart. It's also going to require a sound engineer until we get ourselves up to speed. So someone's going to have to provide some funding for that. Okay? We need to talk about that. I guess what I'm really saying is the PEG station can't, I don't think we're able at this point to make this available for events around the county without the people that want to have the events kicking in some to help. Now, in the upcoming fiscal year, we plan to continue upgrading our equipment and purchasing some special equipment that will allow us to broadcast from remote locations. We're also going to upgrade our computers for production editing of local programs. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, part of the work in creating a TV show is video and recording. But the other part is editing it. You have to spend time making the transitions between the scenes. You need to put titles on and credits at the end and all this stuff. And that takes a computer system that's got enough horsepower and memory to handle big video files, and it takes some software sophisticated enough to do it. So we're getting all that set up. But the cool thing is, I want to spend a minute talking about local programs. We've begun producing and broadcasting more local programs. And I want to give Thomas credit to this because he's been spending a lot of his time working with other people doing this. And even though we're just getting started, it's actually coming together. We're starting to produce a series of local programs called The Lake Life, which highlights local people and local events and things that are happening. We've broadcast things like the coronavirus, community forums, but we're also making our own unique shows. Thomas has made 2 public service announcements with Fire Chief Cepeda, one on fire awareness and another one called the Fire Checklist. And they can be viewed on our YouTube channel, which is called Lake County Pay. If you go to YouTube, you can find Willie Cepeda standing there. We're in the process of producing a fire mitigation video with the Lake County Fire District and CAL FIRE. And what, a couple weeks? Yeah, it should be done pretty quick. Anyway, there's a lot of other things. Thomas mentioned to me, let's contact some local young people. And we would work with them. Do that because that would be so. That's what really, to me, that's really what PEG needs to be doing more than anything else. All this other stuff is, it's, you know, it's just stuff. Anyway, so in conclusion, the PEG Board of Directors strongly supports the renewal of the PEG agreement for another 2 years. At our board meeting last Monday night, we voted unanimously. The PEG agreement renews every 2 years. And Ellen and the city manager there was some suggestions from the PEG board that there might be some changes to the verbiage about, you know, what would happen if a board member was chronically absent, stuff like that. And they suggested not changing any of the wording in the agreement if you wanted something like that to put it in the bylaws. So the board said fine, and we're strongly supporting renewing it just the way it is. Okay. I'll pass that along. I did this report at the Board of Supervisors meeting on Tuesday. I'm going to be doing it in Lakeport. The earliest date I could get was 18th May. But This is where I say any questions. Ed, thank you for all the years you've served in the PEG channel and on the PEG board and putting the equipment together and making sure we had content. Thank you very much.
Councilman Crappy has a question.
Just a quick question. If someone wanted to get involved, what are the steps that they should take?
Well. Probably
So, good evening, everyone. You know my name, my name is Thomas. The way you get involved is you come down, you fill out an application, member application. We also have TV producer agreements. We have actually several agreements, so all kinds of avenues. Just get in touch with us. The number is 994-8201, extension 109. I'm going to take a little bit of time to tell you guys about our PEG YouTube channels. There are 2 channels, Lake County PEG TV, and then just Lake County PEG. The Lake County PEG TV is our government side. Lake County PEG will be the public side. That will have all our YouTube subscribers are up. We're at 310. Tell everyone, and please subscribe.
No, that's not viewers, that's subscribers.
That's subscribers. On a monthly basis, we have over 543 viewers, 132.2 hours of viewership. So people are watching this. Just this last week, we had 113 viewers that didn't subscribe. So tell everybody, and I know I'm talking to you to help me with the station down there. Another thing, as far as community goes and where you'll find this content, we're going to be in collaboration with the Middletown Arts Center doing a show called Sounds of Liberation. It's going to take off in the middle of June. That will be on the Lake County PEG YouTube channel, different from the Lake County PEG TV YouTube channel. One's the government channel, one is the public channel. With that being said, any other questions?
I have, go ahead, Councilman Kramer.
You mentioned different programs, different type, you're interviewing different people for different things. Can you give me a little bit more
Yeah.
subjects?
I think kind of like where your direction going, you're talking about the show Lake Life. So the Lake Life is basically all things Lake County. Everyone in this room, you're our guest stars. And no, we're going to call you to come in and talk. You know, we'll do little segments. The whole premise of the show is just positive things in our community. It's all about positively creating, you know, content that makes people want to come and visit here, you know, Lake, our beautiful Lake County.
A couple of years ago, I interviewed, Nick Bennett also did.
Yeah, yeah.
That was more historic.
I've done that stuff with that.
Yeah. Is that the kind of thing that's more was history?
Yeah, and so back then also I was doing Man About Town. Anybody see any of those segments? That was the first little show that I started, and Nick was actually supposed to be on that. That thing's going on. So, but yeah, it's similar exactly to that. Yeah, we just changed the name.
How many viewers do you watch our council meetings?
To pinpoint well, actually, I could run in there right now and see analytics, see how many people. I think when I left, we had 7 viewers.
77.
5 viewers.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Not bad for, okay, this is a long show. This is a long thing. David will tell you, and we all know nowadays, it's the attention span.
Yeah.
If you watch a YouTube series or subscribe to anyone, you'll notice their videos are 12 to 16 minutes long. Weekly, sometimes twice a month content. That's the direction, and that's the direction we want to go with. More people with hour-long shows. We want to do it. We want to do it in 22 minutes, 28 minutes, 40 minutes being the absolute longest show ever to put on. But it's small, short, little captions of what's going on. It makes people want to come back and say, "Oh, we'll be back next week with so and so," and so they tune in. That's our goal.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
Great.
exciting. It's happening. So finally, and hopefully we get to take these max off soon. So that's right.
All right. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to item number 4, which is a proclamation recognizing Dr. Gary Pace, MD, MPH, for his service. Proclamation of the City Council of the City of Clearlake recognizing Dr. Gary Pace, MD, MPH, for his service to the City of Clearlake and the County of Lake. Whereas Dr. Gary Pace was appointed to the position of Public Health Officer for the County of Lake in October 2019, and whereas Dr. Pace has extensive experience in education in the medical field, including family and clinical practice, and as a medical director in healthcare facilities. And whereas the unprecedented COVID-19 outbreak presented challenges that had never been seen before. Whereas Dr. Pace's leadership and professionalism during this health crisis was invaluable to all citizens in Lake County. And therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Clearlake wishes to recognize Dr. Gary Pace for his tireless effort to minimize the impact of COVID-19 to the community and for his service to the citizens of the City of Clearlake and Lake County, and extends best wishes to Dr. Pace in his future endeavor. Signed by me, Mayor of Clearlake, this date 2021. Just a quick personal comment. Anytime you really wanted to talk to him or get a response from him, he was always very accessible and very straight on, and I really appreciated that. So, all right, we'll move on.
Yeah, if I could, I just want to let the council know that we reached out to Dr. Pace and wanted to coordinate a time where he could come and receive the proclamation, even if it was on Zoom, but he's taking off a week or so for obviously a well-deserved vacation, and is going to be back for one final week, I think most of next week. But anyway, we wanted to go ahead and get this proclamation for him, and we'll get it to him later. So
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to public comment. This is the time for any member of the public to address the City Council on any matter not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow the council or staff to discuss issues brought before under public comment. The council cannot take action on non-agenda items. Concerned may be referred to staff or placed on the next available agenda. Please note that comments from the public will also be taken on each agenda item. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
Mr. Mayor, I have not received any public comment via email. However, was one hand raised, but that hand went down. So it doesn't look like there. Oh, nope, it's back. There's one hand raised in the Zoom. So we can ask that person to go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hi. It's Kevin Victorian from CNA. And I just wanted to give you all an update on what CNA has been busy doing and stuff. And what we've been doing for the last 3.5 weeks is cleaning up the area back, what we call the back 40s, back there, and the avenues and stuff where the homeless encampment is, except for the homeless encampment. We have hauled out 8,200 pounds of trash alone. We've made 7 different trips with recyclables like car parts and whatever they were that would be taken at the recycling center free of charge, which probably would have weighed out to about the same amount. We've cleaned up the area right behind Councilmember Kremer's property of between 35th and 36th there, which was a mess. We still are working on that as well and stuff. It's not Kremer's, it's not Councilmember Kremer's property, it's behind his property. It's a total mess. What we do have endeavors to get, if the city will let us and stuff, try to get a dumpster dump back there, maybe community patrol and animal control as well. So we can go back there and start cleaning it where the homeless encampment is. But we're afraid that because we have women and children there, we're afraid that they may rebel against us cleaning there. So we don't know what we should do about that. But they have one camper that was moved out of there and now they're using it as a garbage can. And there's a gang of trash back there. So we have endeavors. We've just been proactive and really cleaning up the neighborhood. It really looks nice back there. You all have a chance. You ought to go back and see it and stuff. And we even had one business come there that does fire safety measures and stuff to try to prevent fires and stuff. And he came and he had his workers with him, and they did some trimming of trees back there that were dead. I mean, the community there has really came out and helped us a lot on this. And I was under the impression that City Manager Flora was the one that had something to do with the donation of the monies that we had for the dump, the stuff free for the dump and stuff. But then I was told that it was the county. I don't know, so don't quote me on that. But whoever it is, we want to give them kudos and stuff because we really got a lot of stuff done. And on a lighter note, CNA is planning a community barbecue in which we want to invite each and every one of you, from the chief to the council members, not saying that one is more important than the other, but all of you there to this barbecue. There will be no shop talk, so it won't be any violation of any clause that you guys have and stuff about 2 or 3 of you being together, colluding with one another. But we really would like to see you. We think this would be a great time for you to do outreach and let your constituents know who you are, and they can find out and let you know something about yourselves and stuff. But I will stress to the members that there will be no talking about the streets, the roads, or trash or nothing like that. We just want to see you guys and have you out there to meet the community, some of your constituents and stuff. That's all I have to say.
Sir, do you know when you have that barbecue?
Oh yes, it's going to be on June the 12th. And I'm a chef and I'll be doing most of the cooking, but so you ain't got to worry about if it's going to be nasty.
It sounds like it's going to have ribs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I've been buying ribs like crazy.
Anyways, sir, thank you very much for all your efforts and giving us an update of what you're doing. That's pretty awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just make a quick follow-up comment. So it was the county has a program where they authorize certain groups to waive the dump fees. And so, I can't take credit for that. They did call me and ask if it was okay if they did that, and that if we were supportive of the efforts of this group, which I, of course, assured them that we were. So thanks to everyone involved on that.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that anybody wants to pull? Do we have anybody from the public that wants to pull any of the items?
There are no hands raised in the Zoom, and I haven't received any comment on any consent item, Mr. Mayor.
All right, can I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda as submitted, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Mayor Purdock and a second by Councilman Kramer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're going to our first agenda item. Item number 14. Consideration of development agreement DA 2021-01. Mr. Flora, could you?
Senior Planner Roberts is going to present the staff report.
So this committee considerations for development agreement DA 2021-01 for Chandra Martinez for a commercial cannabis operation. The applicant is proposing to expand their cannabis use permit. It's located at 14 935 Olympic Drive. So the expansion involves 9 of the 14 units, totaling 25,966 square feet. Minor alterations, exterior modifications would occur. There would be no public allowed on site. The operation occurs in existing facilities and span across 2 parcels located at 14915 and 14935. So on March 9th, 2021, we brought the planning project before the planning commission. They found the project to be but also complying with all the state requirements. So the planning commission also recommended that the development agreement DA 2021-01 during their March 9th, 2021 meeting recommended for approval. So I'm available for any questions regarding the type of uses or
Any questions from staff on this? If not, we'll open up the public hearing. Any questions from the public or anybody on Zoom?
I've not received any emailed comments, Mr. Mayor, and it does not look like there's any attendee on Zoom who wishes to speak.
All right, we'll bring it back to the council. Any other questions, deliberations? If not, can I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we hold the first reading of ordinance 252-2021, read by title only, waive further reading and set the second reading and adoption for May 6, 2021.
We have a motion by Councilman Claffey. Do we have a second?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'll second that.
We have a second by Councilman Kramer. Any additional discussion? If not, everybody say aye.
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 Okay, we move to item number 15. Thank you, Mark. Okay, item number 15. Mr. Flora.
Yeah, so Mr. Mayor, members of the council, so this is the Sulphur Fire road rehab project. I think a couple of meetings ago, we had a public hearing. The council approved a very similar resolution related to this. Since that time, we received word that HCD was allocating a little over 13.7 million for this project and the Burns Valley Arrowhead road rehab project. As HCD commonly does after that happened. Well, there's a couple things. One, initially the application was from 2 separate funding sources as one package. They allocated the funding to us only out of the disaster recovery program and not the mitigation infrastructure program. So they requested a few changes to the authorizing resolution that the council adopted, and they wanted us to include the specific dollar amount of the allocation. And so those changes were made to this resolution. And that's the only real changes there. We just need to jump through the HCD hoops. So if you have any questions related to this, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Any questions from the council staff? Vice Mayor Purdock.
Do we have any kind of a time frame with HCD, or? It's kind of a loaded question, Mr. Floor, and I apologize.
Yeah, that's definitely longer than we all want. We don't really have a firm timeline still. You know, at the last council meeting, we're expecting to release this project for bid within a few days of that meeting. HCD came back and is asking for some additional review of various sections of the project. So we're in the process of conducting those reviews now. I would say that realistically, we're probably looking at least another 30 to 45 days before we will get authorization to send the project out for bid. But we don't know for sure. So the good news is we have talked to some contractors that may be interested in bidding on this project. They don't have any other big projects that are out to bid now in Lake and Mendocino County. They expect a pretty short construction window on this particular project in spite of the size of it. And so we're still continuing to be very optimistic that even with this delay, we can still get this project done this year.
I've not received any emailed comments, Mr. Mayor, and there doesn't appear to be anyone on Zoom who wishes to comment on this item.
Just a follow-up comment, just so the public knows. The staff and we have a regular meeting established, and I just would like the public to know that we are trying to expedite this project. I know that the people within the project area are very anxious to see some work being done on these roads, and we're all struggling with the current condition of the roads. And I know that staff is very aware of that. So please be patient with us as we navigate this additional funding abilities.
Yeah, and I want the council and the public to know that literally staff, various staff are working literally every day on preparing information and doing things as quickly as possible. Mr. Schwartz has done an inordinate amount of work on this to make sure that HCD is rarely waiting on us and that we turn any information they request back to them as soon as possible. It's just the processes and regulations that they've created are quite mind-boggling in many situations, but that's just, for $13.7 million, we will jump through a few hoops.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor.
Definitely. Councilman Kramer.
I concur. I been in talking with Mr. Floor and also Mr. Schwartz and Mr. Goodman, and they're working on this all the time. This is something that we just have to, as you say, jump through the hoops because it's a lot of money and it's going to help our city a lot. So we just need to do it. And I'm ready to make an emotion if.
Please proceed.
I'd like to move that we adopt resolution 2021-24, approving an allocation of funding and an application for funding and the execution of a grant agreement and any amendments thereto from the CDBG-DR program.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Kramer. For a
I'll
second,
second.
seconded by Vice Mayor Purdock. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, item number 16. Mr. Flora, City Manager.
Mr. Jones is going to present the staff report on this item.
Good evening, council. From time to time, staff will look at municipal code sections and see if there's areas where we can be more efficient and make updates. The purchasing code, which is section 3-4, discussing with our city manager. We realized there were some areas where we could make some minor modifications to make it more both efficient and fair at the same time, and also compliant. So when it comes to public projects, which is building of infrastructure and things, that has to go through the public bidding process, where you have to go with the lowest responsible bidder. But there are purchases of goods and services that are not public projects that we can have more flexibility. So looking at our code, there were sort of three areas we thought we could improve a little bit to make it again, more efficient yet fair. One was to amend the informal bidding process a little bit, so we weren't required to get three bids, but we could when it was. The other part that we wanted to amend was increasing the spending authority of the city. Right now it's $20,000, relatively minor increase to $25,000. And that was based on my assessment of what other jurisdictions budget outside the city council. there are purchases that Mr. Flora wanted to make, but not have to come to city council, that it was $25,000 or less, as it states 20,000. I would submit that there are other cities that similar types of purchasing anything for 40 or 50,000. So that maybe as sort of inflation goes, we can look each year. And then the last thing is we wanted the ability to, right now when there's surplus items, we can come to council for surplus for you might council. Not increasing the amount of $1,000 or more for council appropriate amount. So for the vehicle or maybe equipment, we want to council smaller items. Those are the summary of the changes.
Anybody? I have one question. How long has it been that this was raised, or has it always been? You know, just curious.
Are you talking about the $20,000
Yes.
limit?
Yeah.
We'll have to look real
I think it was a
quick.
couple of years
I,
ago.
as an aside on that, I had in conversation with Mr. Flora Tuesday, the school district's limit for the same thing is $45,000.
That's what it was, 2006. So
2006.
about 15 years.
Yeah, it's
We're due.
good. All right. Any more questions from the council? If not, we open it up for public hearing. Any comments from the public at Zoom or in person? It doesn't look like in person, so.
Mr. Mayor, I've not received any emailed comments, and it looks like there's no one in Zoom who wishes to speak on this item.
Very good. Bring it back to council. Any additional comments or questions? If not, can I entertain a motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to approve the first reading of ordinance number 253-2021, read by title only, waive further reading and set second reading and adoption for the May 6th, 2021 meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Kramer and a second by Councilman Claffey.
Excuse me, we need the title read, please, Councilmember Kramer.
Oh, sure. Let me get back to the title. Okay, ordinance number 253-2021 and ordinance amending section 3-4 of the Clearlake Municipal Code related to the purchasing and sales.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Kramer and a second by Vice Mayor Purdock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is city manager and council member reports.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very short report tonight. I mean, we, as the council is aware, we have a tremendous number of projects going on right now. A lot of scurrying around and things we're working on. Public Works and Code Enforcement have been doing a lot of cleanup stuff lately. This week, Public Works shifted to some of their crews to starting grading in the avenues. So excited to get working on that. The focus of this initial grading that they're doing is on the area that the chip seal project will presumably happen. And that's almost 5 miles of roads in the avenues between, I guess, Phillips and Boyles in that area between 40th and 18th. And so that's part of that RFP is out right now and a request for bids, and our public works crews need to sort of prep those areas. So I think already a mile or so of stuff has been done this week. So glad to see that action. What's that? Bid openings next Thursday. So I will be anxious to see how those bids come in. The only other thing I was going to mention, our assistant planner has announced that she's going to be resigning and leaving, unfortunately, and relocating closer to family. So we did release recruitment this week. We just found out yesterday, and yesterday we released a recruitment for both assistant and associate planner, so that we'll see what applicants we get for kind of a wide range of experience. But with so many things going on, it's a little stressful for the staff to make sure we can keep things going. But we'll do everything we can to ensure that things don't really get slowed down. So with that, that's my report.
Hey, Councilman Kramer.
Yes. I went to the APC, Area Planning Council Lake Transit Authority meeting on Tuesday and heard the presentation similar one to what we had earlier, although it wasn't referred to as a local road safety plan. It was referred to as the regional transportation plan and the active transportation plan of Lake County. That interactive map that I don't know whether it did that much to you on the presentation here, but it's a real neat deal. And it's a great way for the public to be able to make their comments about where they see needs to our county's roads and state highways too. It's really, it looks like it's easy to use. And I think this flyer is on our website, I believe, Ms. Swanson, you mentioned. And it is Lake APC and mysocialpinpoint.com. But I would encourage everyone to go in, take a look at it and use it, especially if you have suggestions with regard to our roads. I been making the rounds, went by some of the areas that are being prepped for the double chip seal, and really liked what I see. I compliment our Public Works Director for all his great work on that. And our roadie project is continuing to move forward. There was a lot more work done this week, and I went and looked today. They're going to hopefully get a lot done. Oh, and then the other one, our Safeway, our property behind Safeway, I would say it's at least halfway done as far as the tree removal. They're moved amazingly fast on that. So again, I compliment whoever's directing them and look forward to that being a clear site, and we can get moving forward on the courtyard and the ball fields. And that's about all I have.
Councilman Claffey.
So the one meeting I had since the last city council meeting was the PEG TV board. And I think we've heard all the great work that they're doing. It sounds like I'm going to have to learn how to use sound equipment at some point, but that can be a positive. So I think that's it.
Vice Mayor Purdock.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So on April 5th, I joined the others on the Lake County Solid Waste Committee meeting. We've been looking at ways and things that we can be better serving our communities. One of the things that I was excited about, and I was happy to hear the report up in the avenues and the cleanup that have been going on up there. They are trying to acquire a dump trailer that they can use or allow community groups, civic groups, and nonprofits to use in such areas to do public cleanup. So I think that's a positive. I don't believe that that Lars at the county has been able to do that yet. But it would be put, I believe parked at the landfill. So it should have easy access for local residents here. As Councilmember Kramer mentioned, we did have our Lake APC LTA meeting on the 14th, and we had a chamber meeting last night also on the 14th. There are some developments there, and we'll be working diligently to get a report back to the city council on the Clearlake Chamber of Commerce. I did want to thank Mr. Goodman and his crew. I was driving in the avenues and I saw the grading project that was going on up there. Actually, that day I think they were on 22nd, 23rd, and 24th doing a grading project. I would encourage the residents up in the avenues when the grading projects are beginning and you see those signs come out that say, please don't park in these areas because they need to get in there to do the grading and improve the roads. Please follow those signs. I saw a couple of cars that have been there for quite a while, parked right in the way of the sign. So the grader had to go around it, and that makes for at least not the quality of job that I know our staff wants to provide. So please work with our crews when they're out on the roads. Please be safe and mindful that we have people moving around on the heavy equipment. And we just want to see everybody be safe as well as improving our roads. So thank you again, Mr. Goodman and your crew.
Right. One comment. I've gotten a lot of feedback on the clearing of the roadie property, and it's all positive. People are very happy that we're cleaning that place up. I spent a little time on the meeting with the area planning. I was unfortunately traveling. I spent last Friday with Sergeant Peterson. I can see that our staff is professional and excellent. He asked me some things, and obviously he wanted an ear, but that's good. I also attended the kind of first part of a joint power authority for community risk authority reduction, or did I say that right? Community risk reduction authority, because the county and the cities with several agencies, fire departments, water districts, and city staff, to create a joint power agreement for risk reduction for fire and other disasters. It was kind of the first meeting on it, so it was kind of see who was going to be on there and stuff. We'll have some more on that later when we find more about that. So, and Councilman Kramer is interested in helping with that too. For the rest, I don't know other items. Any future agenda items? Mr. Kramer, Claffey, Burdick? If not, we adjourn. We adjourn. It'll take a couple of minutes, and then we'll go into closed session. Moving right along.
Last vote.